I suppose it goes without saying that Irish farmers produce top quality food to a very high standard, but unfortunately farming without CAP wouldn't be sustainable, and to ensure long-term food security we need to see a CAP that's fair to all farmers. Like we have some farmers who claim in excess of €100,000 per year in farm payments. You had 20 farmers in 2020, for example, who claimed 3.6 million. It was farming enterprises, and it was not the small family farm, but they're claiming 3.6 million payments in payments. And we need to see a CAP that is fair and payments are front-loaded to support small and medium-sized family farms. So Sinn Féin have been calling for full convergence and to end the inequality of making payments based on reference years from many years ago. The current CAP and the last CAP are based on just partial convergence, and that needs to end. Many Irish farmers, well, all Irish farmers have shown themselves more than willing and able to actually change farming practice to ensure that they're doing their utmost to protect the environment. But to do so, they need to be properly compensated. And payments and schemes such as the acres payment are all fine and well if they work well, but they are not working well currently. And there's many farmers who are awaiting payments for months and sometimes years from those schemes. And I think any scheme that's been introduced by the Department of Agriculture there needs to be prior consultation with farming organisations and other stakeholders to ensure that it's a straightforward application system, not over complex and not full of red tape and bureaucracy as the current schemes are, and that payments are made in a timely fashion. Farmers can't afford to wait months and years for their payments. They need them paid in the time that they're expected. The compensation to forgotten farmers, €5 million was announced in the budget. So just, Minister, if you could provide details on that, how that is going to be spent. Because, I mean, the young farmers who lost out on the installation aid in the aftermath of the recession and then didn't qualify for the young farmer support in CAP 2015, because they were farming for 5 years or more, they do need the compensation. Again, I'm not sure 5 million is going to be sufficient, but it is definitely a start. But if we could have detail on how that is going to be distributed among those farmers affected. In relation to Mercosur as well, I mean, Sinn Féin have opposed Mercosur. I've been speaking about opposition to Mercosur for about the last 6 years. It's not a good trade deal. Like Irish beef farmers produce a high quality beef to the EU market. We're one of the top producers of beef on the EU market. And if the South American beef is allowed to come onto that market, we know that that beef doesn't meet the same animal health and welfare standards. It's going to be cheaper cuts, a lower standard of beef, but it is going to adversely affect it. So the government needs to do more to ensure that they are protecting Irish farming from trade deals such as Mercosur to ensure that they're not adversely affected. Just say, I grew up on a small family farm. My parents worked that farm. They didn't have to work off farm to make a living. There were 10 of us on that farm. The farm now wouldn't actually be at all sustainable, the size of it. Small farms have got bigger and bigger and bigger because small farmers have to get out of farming because they can't survive. And many young farmers I talk to, they don't want to continue the family farm because they know if they do, they're going to end up working 2 jobs. They're going to have to work the farm, but they're also going to have to take up a job to subsidise their income because they won't be able to make sufficient income to live on. So I think a lot more needs to be done to put protections in place for the small and medium-sized Irish farm to ensure that they can continue producing the top quality food that it does. Thank you.